Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another full moon collective reading. We have a full moon today happening in the sign of Virgo or Leo, depending on the astrological system that you follow. So along with this full moon, we also have a very important transit happening, which is Saturn is leaving Aquarius, where it's been since 2020, and it's entering Pisces. So to get some further information on how, Saturn works, how it influences, how it affects your life, I would encourage you guys to take a look at your birth chart and find where Aquarius is. And depending on the house where you have Aquarius, that's the area that Saturn has been working in for these last few years. And now, together with this full moon, it is moving into Pisces for the next, just about 2.5 years, getting ready to kind of clean up another area of our lives, ready to work in another area of our lives. So again, check your birth charts because you're going to get a lot more information by knowing where these transits are happening for you, where you can expect some sort of work to be done, like lessons to be brought up, where it can become obvious and clear to you where things are not going too smoothly or aren't functioning in the best way that they could. Saturn comes in to fix things, to make things better, but it's through hard work. It's through having to face certain truths, even if they're difficult. It's through having to commit to certain things and having to really face things and be willing to do whatever it is that you have to do the work that has to be done to clean up a certain area of your life, depending, again, where this is falling for you. So highly recommend check where Aquarius is in your chart so you can kind of reflect back on what has happened these last 3 years, so you can get an idea of how Saturn has influenced your life, how Saturn works, and then look where your Pisces is located so you can see kind of what's to come, get a glimpse of what's to come, what Saturn is looking to improve in your life now. Another super important transit this month that's happening is actually happening later on in the month. I believe it's on the 23rd, but it is Pluto moving into Aquarius, and literally no one has ever experienced this before unless you've been here since the 1700s. So this is huge, this is a big deal, and these two really big transits are what's making March, astrologically speaking, the most important and the most eventful month of the year. So I feel like this month is representing a pivotal point for all of us. I think it's a time for us to accept change, to shed skin, to honor our past, honor where we've been, honor, the seasons of our life, and to be willing and ready to move forward, to move ahead as a new and improved version of ourselves. And just come to terms with that, be at peace with that, find acceptance where it's needed, because I do think that our actions, what it is that we choose to do here, is going to make a really big difference. It's going to influence everything basically from here on out. It's going to influence, the experience that we create for ourselves. It's, we're basically in the driver's seat of our own life. We are manifesting and creating karma with every choice, with every action, with every decision. Everything has a consequence. And I'm not speaking in terms of good or bad, I'm just speaking generally. So as we burn through karma, we're also simultaneously creating it. And it all depends on our decisions, our actions. We are totally in charge and in control. So the choices that you make now, I think, are going to be very impactful in really showing us the direction in which we're choosing to move, the direction we're choosing for ourselves, and what we will continue to work on and solidify for the remainder of the year. I feel like right now is a very telling time of what direction are we moving in? What is it that we're choosing? Because this could kind of serve as a mirror or as a little sneak peek, a little glimpse into the direction, of course, that we're heading in and what we're choosing to solidify and work on solidifying in our lives. We also do have Venus and Jupiter together in the sky, which is said to be a very auspicious and beautiful energy. However, they're also in conjunction with Chiron, and Chiron represents our wounds, our biggest wounds. So again, if you want to get more insight, you have to see where Chiron is in your birth chart to see what are some things that you could possibly be overcoming, some insecurities that you had, some things that really triggered you, some core beliefs that you carried about yourself that really kind of served as a block and was holding you back and was very painful and you were very affected by. Something in this area, I feel we are finally going to be releasing, letting go of, healing from. Our greatest wounds tend to become our biggest gifts. So it could be that we're getting an opportunity to face something, or we're just getting like that insight, that epiphany, that breath of inspiration of realizing like that we are so much more than our fears, we are so much more than our wounds, and finally overcoming some kind of insecurity that you may have had and that you may have been dealing with. Seeing an area that you're definitely improving in and where you're overcoming, or where something's going to become clear to you that it's a blockage, that it's an insecurity. And in having that insight, you're going to be able to just like push forward, push past it, and prove to yourself that you're capable of surpassing that limitation, and that you overcame. And whatever those things that are holding you back isn't what's real, and it isn't what's true. And it's just finally breaking free of it, like finally like detaching yourself from whatever story you were telling yourself, from whatever it is that you were attaching yourself to. It's finally like unsticking yourself from that and seeing out of a whole brand new lens and feeling different and acting differently than you would have, and being able to really feel and experience that growth, that healing, and more of like your true potential. So yeah, this is definitely an important month. It's a month of a lot of revelations, a lot of insights, like getting a lot of solutions, a lot of answers, and I feel like a lot of sneak peeks into what's to come, because when Pluto goes into Aquarius on the 23rd, it isn't going to stay there. It's going to actually retrograde back into Capricorn, and I think it's going to do that dance a few times this year, and it isn't going to be like permanently in Aquarius until next year. So again, this is just like we're seeing glimpses here. We're seeing new starts, new beginnings in ourselves, in our environments, and the way that we act, and how we do things, how we perceive things, how we handle things. So pay attention, because I feel like now is a time where, a lot can be revealed to you about your direction, where you're headed, the work you have to do, the work you have to put in, what's expected on your part. And looking at these tarot cards, it's so interesting, because according to the tarot, it wants you guys to be okay with like whatever outcome. I feel like maybe some of you guys are very attached to a particular outcome, to wanting to make a particular outcome happen. And Spirit is saying that you have to detach, and you have to, let go from, attaching yourself to any particular outcome, and just stay present in the moment and trust that you will be led, and that there are so many different roads and paths and doors that you can take, and that none of them are right or wrong, but that you do have to kind of like choose something and then like stand behind it and go through with it, and that regardless it's going to be okay, and it's always going to be like what's meant to be. And just to know that there's versatility, that there's options, that there's infinite realities we can step into. So don't be so attached to like one particular outcome, because doing that is what causes disappointments, letdowns, heartbreaks. We have to be okay with just letting things flow and trusting that the divine plan will find you. So in order for us to be in like the best place possible to allow this to happen, it's showing me here that we have to work on like our emotional state. So it's saying like keep yourself uplifted, happy, taken care of, nurtured, like self-care, self-love is very important right now. So like spiritual baths, spiritual showers, lighting candles, making sure, your surroundings are nice, making sure you're always like checking in with your feelings, how you feel, what's going on, what's coming up, and assessing, like what you need to do to elevate yourself, to bring yourself back to a more optimistic perspective, to liberate yourself from like anything that's troubling or anything that you're attaching yourself to that you are identifying as real. A lot of what we see as real and as solid and as permanent is not. It's an illusion. And Spirit wants you to be able to see through that illusion Because as soon as you can, I feel like a lot of the tension and a lot of the stress will melt away. And you will remember what is truly important. And in doing so, this is what's going to bring you that upliftment, that happiness, that bliss. It's literally just understanding that everything is love. Your love, creation is love, all of reality is love. It's like we all come from the same source and there is no separation. All, separation is an illusion. So when you can understand like how reality works and that whatever you put your focus on, whatever you put your attention on is what you give energy to and is what you breathe into life, then you'll start to become more conscious about what it is that you're feeding into. So there is a need to let go of the old, of what was keeping you stuck and stagnant, and to let yourself create a new foundation. And this is a good thing, because when you let go of what's been established and the standards you currently have for yourself or something like this, when you're able to stop being so rigid in that and kind of find some wiggle room to explore new things, to invite the idea that there could be new ways of being, then you can leave behind all of the pain that you're carrying and associating with this version of yourself. I feel like you're holding on to a lot of past hurts, a lot of past pains, where you're feeling kind of a level of defeat here. But this is your chance to have like a brand new beginning, to have a second chance at how it is that you move, to really reevaluate yourself, your beliefs, your actions, your standards, the rules that you follow, and the things that you conform to. Kind of like the title you give yourself and the boxes you put yourself in, and like, oh, well, I'm A, B, and C, so A, B, and C is expected to act in so and so ways. And it's like detaching from that image, from that identity, and allowing yourself to just be who you are, not imposing anything. I feel like some of us are really, really trying to hold tight onto something and we want to like force it to happen. But Spirit is actually telling us to surrender. It's not a time to force. Right now, it's just a time for you to observe how it is that you're feeling and meet your conflict with compassion, okay? Just meet it with compassion. Don't meet it, coming at it like with anxiety and with like being concerned and worried and oh my gosh, and reliving everything and overthinking everything and getting lost. It's about being able to come back to the present moment, detach from all of those stories, detach from all of those ideas, perceptions, understanding that those are all distortions, they're not real. And while their influence in the experience could have been very real to you and could have, influenced you to be who you are and shaped you to be who you are, it's not what you are and it's not who you are. And you're allowed to just let it go. No overthinking, no overanalyzing. Whenever it comes up, notice that it's coming up. Notice that you're triggered. Notice that your guard is up. Notice, how you're reacting to certain things, and then meet it with compassion. Like, validate these feelings that you're feeling. Understand why they're coming up, and a way that you can do this is by journaling. This really helps us to sort through our feelings and see how we really feel about things and where things could be stemming from. But just do it all with love, like don't look at any kind of situation with any shame, with any guilt. It's just, observing, kind of like observing from an outside perspective, like a third person perspective. You're not getting affected by anything. You're just observing what has happened from a very neutral perspective, so that you can kind of see what has transpired and why, so that you can get the clear insight and the elevated perspective that you need to move forward. It is what it is. That happened to me. I went through those experiences. It doesn't define me. It doesn't define who I am. That was a season, and I'm now ready to welcome in another season. One that I'm not going to be so attached to these experiences. I'm not going to let them influence how I am and behave moving forward. I'm going to learn to detach from this by embracing my new beginning, my new self, by finding presence, because it is in the present moment where you are in your power and where you are really able to effectively do this. But I think, the process that I'm describing it's going to come with a lot of emotional healing. I see that because I see that what you have to do is heal emotionally. You know, you're feeling like you have to do something. Like there's an energy of like, oh my God, I have to act. I have to do something. I have to think fast. What do I do? You know, and like spirit is saying the only thing you have to do is heal, like emotionally heal. That's what you need to work on. And because so many of us subconsciously don't want to face those big, intense emotions that we have buried deep inside, we start feeling like we have to act in other areas, but really where we have to act is in surrendering, is in just feeling whatever you need to feel, letting it come up, cry, do whatever you have to do to get yourself to that place where you just accept. You just accept what has been, it is what it is, and you're ready to shed it. You're ready to take the growth from that experience, but you're ready to unclench, you're ready to detach, you're ready to liberate yourself from the confines of whatever has happened to you and move forward. And that's the only thing you need to be doing, the only thing you need to be taking action on. So it's really a time to trust and to allow spirit to show you certain things. I feel like spirit is here and they're ready to just show you, to guide you. But it's like you have to be present in order to feel that pull from inside. You know, it needs to come from inside of you. It's like you need to trust your own instincts to lead you and to guide you where you're meant to go. And that's why so many people can feel lost and they don't know where to go, because we're not present and we're not connected with ourselves. So we're numb. We're like, there's a disconnection. So we don't feel, you know, like we can't feel any direction or any pull or any guidance, because half the time we're not even like present. We're somewhere else. So how can you ever get that inspiration, that insight, that inner wisdom, you know, that's going to connect you to your inner compass and align you with your dharma, which means like the path that's going to provide to you the most purpose and the most meaning, and where you are honoring what your soul came here to fulfill and to do. So it is, you know, having to cut your losses and let go, surrender, and focus on your emotional state and taking care of that and checking in and being compassionate with yourself and loving yourself through these shifts and through these changes. And maybe even allowing others to love you. I know Venus is in Aries right now, so that is kind of like a very more selfish kind of an energy of like just self-love, self-focus, which, you know, we all need to do. We need to learn how to be very effective at. But I'm seeing that maybe you have support and you're just so focused on like doing this yourself, or you are in a very independent energy where you feel like you're responsible for something, only you. And like you're not even seeing that there's support available. So allow whatever blessing and level of support you have around you, let it help you. Don't be so defensive against it. It's okay to let your guard down right now. I feel like you're not in danger. If you feel like you're in danger and you feel like you need to protect yourself and you're worrying about others' actions towards you, it does seem to be kind of like your wounds of the past flaring up, and not that it's like a real like threat in this moment. So make sure that you are perceiving things for what they are and you're not like projecting. It's time to really like observe yourself, observe your emotions, how you feel, your triggers, your beliefs, you know, the things that you're really holding on to that are just ready to like be moved through. Like we're ready to grow, we're ready to evolve. And I feel like we don't have answers. Like we don't have specific answers just yet. We just know it's time for a new version of ourselves to like flourish and to come up and thrive and to reveal itself. And you just have to be okay. You have to surrender and to know that there are so many possibilities, all of which are great and which will lead you where you need to be. As long as you're present and you are home, you know, you are turned on and you can feel your own inner wisdom, your own inner compass kind of like pulling you and guiding you. You can always listen to your heart. You can always listen to your emotions. Like it's what's telling you where to go. It's what's telling you how you feel. It's what's telling you what excites you. It's what's telling you, you know, like what you're curious about. It's like, you know what's right. It's just a matter of being able to like silence yourself enough, to quiet down yourself enough, to find stillness, to be able to hear it And then you have to find the courage to be able to follow that pull, to just follow it. You know, we don't know everything, and we're not going to have like the grand plan right away. That's why we have to surrender. That's why we have to trust that everything will be revealed exactly when it needs to. And with this full moon, it's revealing something for us, and it's revealing something for us on like a very like everyday level that's going to affect our everyday lives. So this is about like trying to ground something that has to do with ourselves, like grounding it down, because it's really going to help us solidify something in our lives, and it's really going to kind of like merge us and help us meet the divine path and align with it. So it's just asking you to like flow gently with the currents. Even if you have no idea where you're going, just know that you're safe. You're safe, that no matter what path you take, all waters naturally return to the ocean. So don't try to like swim against the current. Just float and let yourself be led. Let yourself become one with the divine. And know that something way bigger is at play here. Something bigger is influencing, making its influence as well. It's not just you. I feel like a lot of us forget that, and that's why we feel so much pressure to like act and to, no, I can't just surrender. I have to get up and move. You know, it's my responsibility. And while yes, that's true, we are co-creators. We co-create with the universe, with the divine. It's not just all on you. So, you know, just let that pressure fall off, let it melt right off. And this is how we find success, happiness, freedom, liberation. So that was our message for this full moon. I feel like this one is really working with our like divine masculine side, the part of us that wants to do, wants to take action, wants to initiate. And I feel like something regarding work and like our work and the work that we do, where themes of like legacies, inheritances, prosperity coming through, unions with certain groups or people, and just how we can get closer to leading a life that's full of happiness and joy. Spirit is really trying to help align us. So as always, it's just a matter of us getting out of our own way, removing the log from our own eye, and just allowing what is already there to reveal itself. But very good energy, extremely beautiful energy here, very auspicious, very lucky, very beautiful, lucky time here. So I hope you guys are really tuning in, paying attention, listening, finding stillness, taking care of yourselves, taking care of your emotional state first and foremost. That's priority. And if you have help, take it. This is a big change that is happening to us. Again, take a look at your birth chart to see exactly where it's all going down for you. Okay, you guys, that was our message. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know how have these moon cycles and any specific astrological transits, how they've been affecting you, how you've noticed that it's been influencing your life. I'd love to know. I feel like that's the real way we can really learn about astrology and the energies, is kind of by just taking what's happening, like what's happening in our own personal experiences and listening to what other people may be going through. And this is how we can kind of validate certain things and like the accuracy of how certain energies may be playing out in our lives. So I think it is a good time to share with people and to allow people in, and especially people that are like offering themselves and coming to you. Like, don't keep them at arm's length. It's okay. I feel like it's safe. It's important to be doing self-work, but it's also important to receive love and support when it's there, and just surrender to it and know that it's safe, okay? It's safe to do so. And that doing so, it's like you could be meeting your people, your group, your tribe, those that you can kind of reach like major success with and that are going to be a part of your story. So again, allow that to happen. Allow that in. So much love to you guys. Wishing you all the best. Until next time, bye.